If you're hunting for a budget-friendly chef's knife, you've probably seen the Amazon Basics 8-inch chef's knife pop up everywhere. It promises versatility, cutting, chopping, dicing, mincing, all for under 20 bucks. But here's what surprised me. Beneath that shiny high-carbon stainless steel blade and a glowing 4.7-star rating, some serious problems lurk that most reviews won't tell you. Stay tuned because I'm about to spill everything you need to know before grabbing this knife, and trust me, some of it might just save you from a kitchen nightmare. Let's kick off with why this knife got so popular in the first place. At just $15.96, it's marketed as a versatile essential for any kitchen. The description flaunts a forged stainless steel construction with a full tang and 3 rivets, classic signs of a sturdy build. Plus, the semi-bolster design supposedly balances weight perfectly while allowing full access for sharpening and chopping. Sounds great, right? Well, hold on to those expectations because here comes the twist. Before diving deeper, here's a quick question. Are you someone who cooks every day? Or maybe you're just stepping into the world of kitchen knives and want a reliable, affordable option. If yes, you need to hear the honest truth about this blade. It's not all satin finishes and rust resistance. Some of its faults could seriously impact your cooking experience. Keep watching because later, I'll reveal who this knife asterisk really suits and who should run far away. Alright, let's unpack the blade first. On paper, the high-carbon stainless steel sounds like a dream. Stain, rust, and pit-resistant is what the label promises. When I received mine, the blade did look sharp and well-made with a polished satin finish that could easily fool anyone into thinking it's a pro-level tool. But the reality, the edge retention is disappointing. After just a few uses, the sharpness started wearing off faster than you'd expect. Imagine chopping tomatoes 1 minute but struggling to slice through an onion the next. The blade simply doesn't hold its edge well. And yes, everyone jokes that a dull knife is the most dangerous knife. But with this, it's almost a full comedy of errors in the kitchen. Here's a joke to lighten things up. Why did the chef refuse to use the Amazon Basics knife? Because it just couldn't cut it. Now, what about comfort and balance? The full tang and 3 rivets usually suggest strong construction, and the semi-bolster design is a plus. The knife feels solid in the hand, no doubt about that. It has a nice heft and generally good balance, which is impressive at this price point. But for prolonged chopping sessions, the handle isn't the most ergonomic. It's made from a kind of plastic composite that starts to feel slippery, especially when your hands get wet. So if you're someone who cooks large meals or does a ton of prep work, expect some hand fatigue setting in after a while. And no, this isn't a knife that'll glue itself to your grip like some higher-end models. And here's a mini twist. Despite all these flaws, the knife's stain and rust resistance actually work quite well. After washing and heavy use, I saw no visible rust or corrosion. Just a quick reminder though, hand washing only, don't toss it in the dishwasher, or you'll kill off that resistance quicker than you can say sharp. But wait, I'm getting ahead without mentioning the biggest catch, the blade's edge and sharpening woes. The semi-bolster design touted to give full blade access for sharpening. In theory, yes. In practice, it's a double-edged sword. The bolster is quite thick and awkwardly placed, meaning sharpening the entire blade becomes a challenge unless you use a professional whetstone setup. For most home cooks with basic sharpeners, this knife becomes difficult to maintain. So if you're not willing to sharpen professionally or don't want to bother, you might find your knife heading straight toward dull territory sooner than later. Here's a cooking nightmare for you. You're half prepping dinner, try to slice a bell pepper, but your knife sticks and drags across the skin. That mid-chop hesitation is annoying and frankly dangerous. The Amazon Basics chef's knife struggles exactly here because the blade isn't as sharp or well-finished at the edges compared to pricier ones. The slice and dice turns into a sawing action, which no one wants. Now, does this mean the knife is all bad? Absolutely not. For its price, it actually performs decently if your expectations are aligned, and you're prepared to give it some TLC. Casual cooks or beginners who need an affordable entry point might find this knife suits simple tasks like basic cutting or light chopping. It can whack through soft veggies with ease, mince herbs, or julienne carrots if you're gentle. But for professional chefs or anyone who cooks often and demands precision, this knife misses the mark. Here's a joke to break up the kitchen tension. Why did the tomato turn red? Because it saw the Amazon Basics knife was about to chop it. But then the knife wasn't sharp enough to cut the tension. Let's talk durability next. With forged stainless steel and a full tang, you'd think this knife lasts forever. While the build is sturdy and the rivets keep the handle intact, the composite handle material worries me over time. After prolonged use, especially if you don't dry it properly, the handle may degrade or loosen, causing that dreaded wiggle when you're trying to slice. Moreover, it's not the easiest to clean due to the stored residues around the rivets. With all this said, the real value is evident if you're just starting out and need a lightweight, inexpensive knife to get the hang of chopping skills. On a budget, it is one of the better options Amazon Basics has because it balances cost and functionality. But if you're thinking of investing in something forever, or a go-to kitchen companion that won't frustrate you, you might want to look at recommended upgrades or slightly higher budget options. There's a reason why knives from brands like Victorinox or Wüsthof cost more. Edge retention, ergonomics, and sharpening ease greatly improve the user experience. Here's another fun jab. If this knife were a stand-up comedian, it would be the one whose punchlines fall flat after a few jokes. Sharp at first but loses its punch pretty quickly. Let's quickly review the essentials. Pros. Insanely affordable at around $16. Solid forged construction with full tang, rust-resistant blade that looks stylish with satin finish. Handles typical kitchen prep tasks if you're gentle and patient. Cons. Poor edge retention. Fairly difficult sharpening due to thick semi-bolster. Handle ergonomics could be better. Not suited for heavy use or professional kitchen settings, and hand wash only. Who should buy the Amazon Basics 8-inch chef's knife? Beginners, budget-conscious customers, or those needing a backup knife for light tasks. Who should avoid it? Serious home cooks, professionals, or anyone who hates frequent sharpening and wants a knife that just works every time they pick it up. Before you rush to checkout, consider your cooking style and how much effort you want to put into knife maintenance. This knife demands some care to keep sharp and safe, so it's not exactly a grab-and-go workhorse. However, if you are aware of its limitations and want a decent starter knife that won't break the bank, it can be your trusty sidekick. Here's the final joke to send you off. Why don't knives ever tell secrets? Because they might get dull, just like this one if you don't sharpen it. In conclusion, the Amazon Basics 8-inch chef's knife is a mixed bag. It delivers great value for very light kitchen use, especially for beginners or those on a tight budget. But it stumbles where it counts most, staying sharp, user comfort over time, and easy maintenance. If you want an honest investment for daily serious cooking, look beyond this knife. Otherwise, it can be a useful tool for basic slicing and chopping with minimal upfront cost. Want to grab the best deal on this knife? The link is in the description below. Check the current price on Amazon because it can fluctuate. And if you want to take the plunge, keep in mind the tips I shared here to get the most out of it. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the kitchen, a good knife can change everything, but not all knives are created equal. Choose wisely, sharpen often, and happy cooking.